Hey everyone, wanted to walk you through my agency analyzer guide today. The guide is really helpful for agency owners that want to do some analysis on their agency to understand exactly how they're doing agency-wide, be able to have a measurement of how one client is performing against another, how each team member is performing, and how each project is performing. So I'm going to share my screen with you in just a moment, but it really does allow you for you to have an understanding of where you are really truly being effective, which team members are being effective, so you can actually concentrate your time where you're really needed most to allow for you to have the most impact on your agency possible. So I'm going to go and share my screen with you. So if you take a look at your agency, and let's say that your agency is doing 1 million in revenue at the moment. And for easy number's sake, we're going to say that the total number of hours is 10,000 hours, the total number of hours that your team members are putting in. That puts your average hourly earning at $100. So that you have a base understanding, the average in the industry that I see is $72 an hour. So, and that's industry-wide, that's not my clients. My clients are typically speaking, after working with me to refine their model and increase their fees, can be $250 plus. And the range of the highest performers surveyed in the industry are between $250 to $500. So this is what you're looking at for last year. You can do the exact same thing for year to date, so you have an understanding of how you're performing this quarter versus on average, and you can do that for many years and actually just taking the same calculation. Then you want to be able to do the same thing with your team members as well. So if you're able to go and take the team members that you have, and so let's say we have John Smith as the team member that we are reviewing, and the total amount of revenue that we have for this particular individual, let's say, is 500,000. And so the way that you're going to want to think about this, and so you may say, hey, Robert, how do I actually apply revenue to a team member? Especially if you're doing fixed fee or if you're retainer based, what you can look at is the amount of hours that it actually took to actually complete that and allocate it based on the percentage of time that that employee was actually working on it. So if, let's say, the retainer is $5,000 and 50% of the work completed on it was to team member A, you apply 50% of that revenue to team member A. So you look at the total number of hours for that employee to actually complete the work. And let's say that it was 1,000 hours. And you were to be able to take in and add in the amount of salary that this person is being compensated. So let's say that this person's compensated $100,000. The total percentage of hours, the total number of percentage of hours that this employee has of all hours in the business. So this, as we were explaining here, that we had 10,000 hours for the entire company overall, the entire agency, and that this employee was 1,000 hours of it. So this is obviously 10%. The G&A expense of this agency was 250,000. So the amount of G&A expense that applies to this employee is $25,000. So we're going to take the understanding of what's actually going in for this specific employee to be able to say what the actual net profit was of this employee. So in this instance, the total payroll and benefits and taxes and everything that went into this employee was 100,000 minus the 25,000. So we ended up coming in at 375,000 for this particular employee, which would be a stellar result if that is the actual case. So for the actual employee to have an understanding of exactly how much the average hourly earning is, we have the total amount of revenue that we have here divided by the total number of hours to give us the average hourly earning of $500. And that is coming up horribly on the screen. Let me give you but you have an understanding there. It is the $500 divided by 1,000, or 500,000 divided by the 1,000 hours equals that $500 average hourly earning. Then you have the hourly cost of the employee. So you have the 100,000 divided by the 1,000, and that's an hourly cost of $100. So you have an understanding of what that employee costs. Doing that with every single team member across the agency to have an understanding of exactly how that team member is performing. Then moving to the project specifically. So let's say we have project A, and client name is, we'll call it Coca-Cola. Service category is digital media. Total amount of revenue earned is, again, the $500,000. But the total amount of hours that we actually spent on it was 2,000. That puts us at a $250 average hourly earning, because again, we are taking the total amount of revenue divided by the total hours to give us the average hourly earning. So that average hourly earning, you're able to now take across each project and say, hey, what is my baseline? So you have your baseline of the agency overall at $100 average hourly earning, but this particular project is at $250. So that's telling me that this project is actually outperforming a lot of other projects, so that's actually a pretty good project. But then we can drill down to have an understanding of exactly what happened with that project that allowed for it to be able to be that top performer within the agency. Going through and having this analysis with your agency overall is really, really helpful to have you have an understanding of where things are going right, where things are going wrong, so that you can actually spend your time where you need to allow for you to be really effective and truly profitable. If you have any questions while going through and filling out this guide, or you'd like to get a copy of the guide, feel free to click the link below.